Spurs 2, Manchester City 0. And honestly, what a game that was by Spurs. Thomas Frank gave Pep a defensive masterclass lesson. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nasmai21 back with another video. I'm trying to be consistent, so as always, remember to like and subscribe. Algorithm. Let's get into it. Look, I really like Spurs under Thomas Frank. The first two games they played, Burnley and PSG, they were really good. One game against PSG, it was more of a defensive masterclass, while against Burnley, it was more of offensive front foot, and both games he coached to win. But I did say the game against Man City will be the test and see how far they've come and how good is Thomas Frank. As for Manchester City, it was like the game against Wolves, they were so good. I mean, offensively, they were so good. And to be fair, there were some moments in that game where Wolves could have scored, especially in the first 20 minutes. But then this was going to be the test for them as well. And then when I saw the lineups, I was like, okay, City, Bernardo and Doku got dropped for Marmoush and Sheki. And on the Spurs side, he went with, I believe, Pellinia. Yeah, he brought in Pellinia for Archie Gray and Bentancur for Bergvall. And honestly, that was a defensive masterclass. The way they defensively set up against Man City was really, really good. Like they kept on doubling up out wide. Even century like Bentancur, he kept on following Shaki whenever he was dropping in deep. Haaland was just non-existent. Like Van de Ven and Romero absolutely had him locked up, and it was a very good performance. And the first goal, it comes from Spurs beating Man City's offside trap. I did think Man City were way too high. John Stones gets caught out. Richarlison's in behind, and Brennan Johnson there again. That's the Brennan Johnson goal. Like he's made it ever since he's joined Spurs. That goal where he just attacks that back post, and he's there scoring. Say what you like about him, like him or not as a football player, but he does score goals. I think last season he scored 18. Now it's 2 and 2. Like big up him, man. But I want to talk about some individuals from Tottenham side first. I want to start with Jed Spence, man. And honestly, his rise has been something remarkable. I remember him at Forest. The first time I saw him was Forest when they played Arsenal in that FA Cup game. And he was absolutely unreal. Got the move to Spurs and Conte just didn't favour him. But he didn't sulk. Went out on loan, I think, to Rennes. Put in some good performances. Came back to Leeds. Didn't work out. Went out on loan to Genoa. And then last season, when they had all the injuries, he got his opportunity and he hasn't looked back. And you could argue he's probably Spurs' best fullback defensively, and you could argue that he's probably one of the better fullbacks defensively. He can lock you up really, really good. If he can improve offensively, I think he'll be a very good fullback. And honestly, don't be shocked if this guy goes on the plane to the World Cup, man, because he's been absolutely unreal. The second person I want to talk about, or not person, but pairing I want to talk about is Romero and Van de Ven. I thought they were absolutely unreal as a pairing, and for me, it's more Romero because with Van de Ven, you always knew how good he was, but it was a matter of can he stay fit. But with Romero, you always feel like under Ange, he's always too rash. But under Frank, he's looked really, really good. I thought he was phenomenal against PSG, and today, he was really, really good against Man City. Like the way he handled Haaland was really, really good. He's looked like the Argentinian version, because whenever he puts on the Argentina shirt, he looks unreal for them. The World Cup, the Copa Americas, these two games, he's looked really, really good. And I think the armband has helped him a lot, him being the leader of the team. So that's really, really good. Another person I want to talk about is Pape Sarr. I remember I did a video on my TikTok page on one to watch per team, and the player I picked was Pape Sarr because I always thought when he broke into this team 2 seasons ago, he was really, really good. He's got that technical yet physical, tall athlete, PMP. He's that rare trait of midfielder, these tall physical midfielders, but they've got some technical ability among them. And he's one that I picked because I remember against PSG, he was really, really good. You could argue he was he should have been man of the match that game, the way he just dominated that midfield. And today again, Reindeers couldn't get a sniff in that game because of him, man. The way he absolutely just kept on disrupting their rhythm, disrupting their control, and the way he was just running through their midfield was absolutely phenomenal for them. And another person I want to talk about is Mohamed Kudus, man. I mean, what a signing he's been for 50 million. That is an absolute steal and an absolute bargain. I mean, like in these big games, it kind of suits him because he's an outlet. He can get the ball from deep, run. He can stretch defenses. He can come deep, and he can also play as a false nine. Because if you remember at Ajax, he did kind of play as that false nine. I did think in this system under Thomas Frank he'd be their number 10, but I think him playing out wide does suit him as that right winger. And you look at it like Man United spent what 70 million on Brian and Mbeumo. They could have spent like 50 on him. Um, Arsenal, they could have used him. Chelsea, they could have used him. But fairs, man, big up Tottenham, man. They got him, and he looks like a really good player. The next player I want to talk about is the big man up top, Richarlison. I mean, he had some good games as well, man. I can't lie. Is it because it's a World Cup year and he knows like hey, there are a lot of Brazilians. João Pedro's knocking on the door. You got a couple of Brazilians who play in the Brazilian league. They're knocking on the door as well. So he's got to step up. Maybe that's the case, but he looked unreal for them. And these last 2 games, he's been 3 games to be fair, even PSG as well. He's been an outlet all these games. Like he's a handful. And honestly, I was shocked that Solanke hasn't. I've been shocked that Solanke hasn't even got a start in these games because where does that leave him, man? Does he need to get a move? Because so people need to remember it's a World Cup here. Like if you don't play that, if you're not playing, you're not going to the World Cup. So they need to remember that. And Richarlison, he's been really good for them. Let's go to Man City now. Let's talk about Man City. And I don't know what's happened. Have they been flat? Like they were not that good, man. I don't really remember like. I mean, the one chance they had was Haaland had a good chance where Shirky played with him. But other than that, they didn't really create much. I mean, Erling Haaland, like, for as good as a goal scorer he is, I do feel like in games like this, he's got to be a handful. He's got to be a nuisance for back lines. Like, I think sometimes when he's good, he's good. When he's scoring goals, he's scoring the goals. But like, sometimes he makes it easier for defenders. That's how I see it. Like when you see like a guy like Isak, he might not be as a goal scorer. He might not score on a level that Haaland scores, but you always leave a game thinking, no, this guy was a handful for me. He's a handful. He can drop deep. He can stretch defenses. He can run the channels. Haaland, like, he just doesn't do that. I'm like, that is one thing. That is concerning. Another player I'm talking about is Omar Marmoush. And honestly, I look at this system, like the way City play, I'm like, where is his best position? Because, like, he's not really a 9. Because when he was at Frankfurt, it was like him and Ekitike up top. He's not. Pep was playing him out wide. Initially, when I saw the lineup, I thought he was going to be the one behind Haaland, and maybe Shirky was going to be the one out wide. But he was just non-existent. Like I thought this was the type of game that maybe need someone like a Doku, maybe even like a Grealish in this game where he can like attract fouls and stuff like that, drop deep, like run at you. But Martin in the system, like I struggle to think where his position is, and I struggle to think where his position is in this team, man. Another person I want to talk about is Ryan Cherki, and honestly, it wasn't his best day, man. And like, there's been this whole Verts Cherki debate. He just didn't have the best day at the office, and like he drops too deep, man. Like he was brought in to be like the KDB replacement. KDB, you always knew he was gonna be on the right hand side, pick up the ball on the right hand side, put in that ball, put in the through ball, stuff like that. He drops too deep. He's a bit too much everywhere, and I feel like maybe Pep's giving him that freedom. But to be fair, him being bad, I do have to like big up Bentancur, because I did think Bentancur did really was following him everywhere he went. So big up him. Another person I genuinely want to talk about is Ruben Diaz. I mean, what has happened to this guy, man? I remember when he first joined the Premier League, like that first season in the Premier League, he was absolutely unreal. I think ever since the treble year, the year that he did the treble, he's just not been at it. Like, I don't know what's happened to him. Like, bro, I don't know what's happened to him. Like, genuinely, it's sad. Like, he's got to step up, man. Because I look at all the City's defenders, and when they're all at it, I think he's their best defender. But should they start looking at life post Ruben Diaz? Because that's probably been City's problem. Like Pep, what they used to be good at is like knowing when to let go of like the old guard, the likes of Fernandinho, when they let them go, David Silva, Riyad Mahrez. Now when you look at the likes of Bernardo Silva, who again, as good as they were at their peaks, they just look past it. Like Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Kovacic, like Edison. Well, we'll get to Edison. Ruben Diaz. Like, is it maybe time to move past him and like pass on the torch? So that's maybe one thing maybe the one thing they got to do, because I don't know what's happened to Ruben Diaz, man. And you look at their defenders, I'm like, maybe Guardio and maybe the young Husanov or Akanji could be your future, because as good as John Stones, as good as he is, you can't rely on him for like a 38 game season. He's too injury prone. I mean, Nori went down today and Ake had to come in. Maybe he's someone they got to look at. And let's talk about the goalkeeper, James Trafford. I mean, the first goal, there wasn't really much he could do from close range, but the second goal, I don't know what he was thinking about that, man. Like, in my opinion, when they signed Trafford, I like Trafford at Burnley. I think he was a really, really good goalkeeper in the Premier League. You saw the glimpses of his talent. In the Championship, I think he got for Player of the Season. He had that unreal record where they went like 10 plus games without conceding a goal. But I don't know what he was thinking. And maybe Pep needs to drop this whole I need a goalkeeper that can play out from the back and just go back to basics and like just get me a goalkeeper that can stop shots. Like, maybe that's why they linked with Donnarumma, maybe. But yeah, man, it just wasn't really good. It wasn't the best day for City at the office. And overall, I mean, Tottenham get the win. I mean, that's a great start for them. It was like 2 wins. 2 wins. They haven't conceded a single goal. But I'm not gonna get carried away because we've seen this by Tottenham. I remember Ange's first season, like the football was really, really great. They were getting results, but we saw how that went down the line. I remember Conte in his first full season. They were looking good. They were getting the results. The football was somewhat great, but then what happened down the line? Jose as well. They started off really, really well. The football was looking somewhat good, but then we know what happened down the line. So we'll see. Let's see. Let's get to like November, December time. Then we can reevaluate. With Manchester City, I think they miss Rodri, man. I think that team, they miss Rodri so much. And the thing about Rodri is, yes, he's back, but what version of Rodri are you gonna get? Because you gotta remember, he's coming back from an ACL injury. So not many players come back from an ACL injury looking at the levels they were before. I mean, Van Dijk, when he came back from an ACL injury, it took him like a while for him to get back to the levels he hit. Florian Wirtz probably the only one off the top of my head who I remember like came back from an ACL injury and looking like the levels he was hitting once. But yeah, man, I mean, overall, Tottenham get the win 2-0. And Thomas Frank, he's cooking something. I did say Tottenham will get top 4, will get Europe, in my opinion, potentially top 4, potentially even top 5. Not because of like the squad they have, but solely because of Thomas Frank. I think nowadays, the best managers are the ones that are tactically flexible. Alan Maresca, Arne Slot, Thomas Frank now. So that's why I think they'll be good. I mean, you look at the difference, and they haven't really. They only signed 2 players, I believe. Kudus and Palhinha, and it's mostly the players of last season. They finished 17th, but it's you can see the difference a manager does. Like, you see how much good they are, how much better they are, how much better they are tactically. Like last season, you saw how high they would play, how many goals they could see off that high line, how open they were. This season, you can see how defensive they are. So good for them. And yeah, man, I mean, that's the win for them. And yeah, overall, that's my thoughts on the game. My first video. So if you ever see this, fair enough. Comment down below what you learned about the game. And as always, to like and subscribe for more. Algorithm. Peace.